See, AI and automation can reduce the operation complexity, and theoretically, you could own multiple businesses because it's easier to do this. So you have multiple revenue streams, multiple franchise locations, multiple brands, whatever it may be. It just gets easier with AI and automation to scale and grow even larger.
Welcome to the Hire Yourself Podcast, the show for senior level executives who are done renting their income and are ready to take control of their future. My name is Gilfillan. I spent decades in the corporate America before hiring myself, becoming an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and a franchise consultant. Now I help others stop relying on one paycheck, one job, and one boardroom decision. If you're ready to take control of your destiny, to build wealth, and to live life on your own terms, then you're in the right place.
Today, we're talking about one of the biggest entrepreneur shifts happening right now. And most people aren't fully understanding what's happening out there, the transformation. For decades, people have assumed big companies win. More employees equals more success. Scaling means adding layers of staff and infrastructure. But AI is changing the equation. See, now we're seeing the rise of tiny teams. That's lean businesses, AI-powered, automated businesses that are leveraging technology to have little or no staff. And in some cases, this becomes very competitive and they can effectively compete against the larger companies. My name is Gilfillan. I'm an entrepreneur. I spent over 20 years in the corporate world at companies like Ford and Terex. And I truly believed, being in those large companies, that it was important because they scaled. They had more people, they had more management layers, they had more overhead, they had more complexity. They were just big. They were ready for a fight. But those businesses are now outdated. You see, technology is allowing entrepreneurs to build businesses that are very different. And I help executives explore business opportunities, and we're seeing a shift towards these tiny teams, businesses that are very efficient, that can compete with the large companies. So I'm here to help senior level executives take control of their destiny to build wealth and live life on their own terms. And the future of the entrepreneur is you don't need huge offices. You don't need massive payrolls. You don't need overly complicated business organizations or operating organizations. Simply put, you just need a strong idea. You need some experience, a smart AI stack, and the courage to go out there and execute. So the question we're going to answer today is, how are AI and automation creating the rise of tiny teams? How could this help you build a very powerful business and succeed in the next decade? So let's start with the obvious, right? AI is dramatically reducing the labor required to run certain businesses. This idea that tasks once required assistants, coordinators, marketing teams, customer service staff, analysts. Now, more and more, AI is changing that. They're eliminating those positions. We don't necessarily need somebody answering the phone. We don't need somebody handling a chat. Bottom line is that all can be done leveraging technology. So we see the rise of the solopreneur. That is a model that's kind of being reinvented. Years ago, that kind of meant that you were overwhelmed. You were doing everything. You couldn't scale unless you added people. But today, AI can act like a virtual assistant, a customer service rep, a scheduler, a marketer, a copywriter, a salesperson, an operations assistant. So bottom line is that AI can take a lot of this work and it can handle for you as the entrepreneur. Or simply put, you can have a tiny team. A lean operation creates massive advantages because you have low overhead, you have fewer payroll burdens, which is obviously payroll is one of the biggest expenses we have as entrepreneurs. Less bureaucracy, faster decision-making, faster agility or the ability to change, which is very cool. And especially as we talk about the economy right now, the ups and downs, the things are changing. Bottom line is that we can move a little bit faster. That gives us a competitive advantage. Large companies are like big ships. It takes them a long time to shift, to move from that standpoint. With a small business, we can adapt very quickly, and certainly technology allows us to do that. And when we talk about that kind of small business where, again, as the owner, we're not having to do everything, AI and automation can be that new workforce, right? The idea behind it is they can be your sales agents or your customer service agents or your scheduling person. And again, I've used the example in the past of the Grout Medic, where they leveraged AI to schedule my appointment. It was absolutely amazing. I talked to an AI agent and she literally had a conversation with me, found out my name, all my information, found out what I needed done, and scheduled the appointment. It was absolutely amazing. It was so amazing. I actually was thanking Sarah, the chat agent, for helping me. So we see AI and automation helping with CRM, automated scheduling. We'll use Surface Experts. Again, I needed some service done in my house. They had an automated scheduling thing. Nobody stepped into my house. I literally took pictures. They gave me an estimate. I approved those estimates and it scheduled it without talking to a human. It was pretty amazing. AI chatbots. I've used my example of Aura Ring, where literally I worked with a customer service agent and that chatbot was authorized to give me a new replacement ring. Pretty amazing. Marketing automation we're seeing, making content a lot easier. You don't need that whole marketing team. And certainly from every aspect of it, AI automation can drive our business. And it's making it easier as a business owner to kind of launch a business. And it can be just easier from a home standpoint. So you don't need a sophisticated business. You don't need to have an office. You know, nowadays with AI tools, the cloud, software, automation, franchise systems, all the systems with process procedures, outsourcing specialists, you don't need that massive infrastructure. You don't need the large offices. You don't need huge staffs. Technology is significantly lowering the barrier of entry. And when we talk about this idea, is that corporate experience can become more valuable. And the idea behind this is that it gives you a serious or an enormous advantage from the standpoint. See, corporate executives already know systems, processes, leadership, operations, project management, technology integration. We learn that in the corporate world. And we combine that as we go into business, we leverage AI tools. That gives us a significant advantage. And when we talk about technology and tiny teams, what that can do is it can allow us to run multiple businesses at the same time. This gets interesting. See, AI and automation can reduce the operation complexity, and theoretically, you could own multiple businesses because it's easier to do this. So you have multiple revenue streams, multiple franchise locations, multiple brands, whatever it may be. It just gets easier with AI and automation to scale and grow even larger. And franchising and AI can be a powerful combination. You see, again, a franchise has already figured out the business model. They got the systems, the process, procedures, they got the marketing, the branding, they got all that stuff. They got the vendor relationships, they got all the support. Now you layer on AI and automation, and you have a very powerful tool. Now you have faster operations, lower labor dependency, build better customer responses, improve scalability. It's a very powerful business model. So at the end of the day, we're seeing a significant shift. This idea of tiny teams, the days of big companies, lots of employees, layers of management, lots of infrastructure, those days are going away. And we're seeing now small businesses leveraging technology, automation, a franchise system to compete against these big businesses. They can move a lot faster, a lot cheaper to get started from that standpoint. If this is interesting to you, would love the opportunity. Take 15 minutes, go to Hire Yourself, schedule a time. Tell me a little bit about your situation. I'll tell you a little bit about my free consulting services and how I can help you explore franchise business opportunities. The idea behind this is that I'm here for you. If you like what you heard today, I encourage you to subscribe to Hire Yourself, follow Hire Yourself. This is a world that is changing. We're seeing AI, automation, leveraging those to become a business owner, especially we'll call it a tiny team business owner, is pretty substantial. For now, good day. Hire Yourself.